just gonna kind of wear this one down. Wear him down. Alright, he's... Well, it's dark and I'm awake. That can only mean one or two things. As we always say, something is either terribly wrong or we're going fishing. Since the boat's hooked up, we're going to say fishing. That's right. We're going to have an epic fishing day today, and I've got a special guest coming in. He's been on channel before. You know him, you love him. Ricky Wallace. So we'll see you out on the water. Well, we're out here on the bay fishing for sheephead. Got Ricky Wallace here, as I said. So if you hadn't already, go to his channel. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to him. He makes handmade knives. In fact, I've got a knife right here on my side that he made me. This right here. This is one of the first ones of this model that he made, all handmade. He does antler, he does all sorts of stuff. If you need a leather holster, I carry this stuff. He made that for me. He sells this stuff, but he also has great fishing content. So check him out, and we'll be back when we catch some fish. Well, Ricky has a fish. Pinfish. Got a pinfish, but I mean, that right there, that can be bait. So we're good. We'll be back when we catch something more edible.
I might just go ahead and cut him.
Yeah.
Put a 3-line out there.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So today's fishing setup for me, I've got crickets. I put some sweet potato peelings in it. It's an old-timey trick. Fish will sometimes go nuts if you gut load a bunch of crickets with sweet potato. I've got a octopus hook. I've got 2 split shot weights. We have an outgoing low tide. I've got 2 crickets on there. So that's the setup. I've got something on, folks. Let's see what we got.
Live action.
Oh crap. Ricky said it and we had it. We've got a hardhead. Yay.
Again, that is not a sheephead.
You know what I was about to do is not YouTube appropriate. I'll get demonetized.
We got a pinfish and a catfish.
And he has swallowed it.
Catch when we was coming over here. Okay, I got something running on my 3-line, I think. Got a big chunk of pinfish.
All right, this thing is chunked, so I don't think I can get it out. I'm probably gonna cut the line. All right, so Ricky's on. Got
this silver trout.
Yeah.
Good bait.
There we go. Small silver trout. Ricky has some lines, but that isn't a sheephead.
He identifies as a sheephead.
Oh, okay. He identifies as a sheephead. All right, so I guess it's okay. Ricky's on. Got a little silver. Oh, white trout. White trout. All right.
I was wondering if there's any of those out there.
So Ricky was having to relieve himself and has rod just hanging over, and a croaker has come and bit his bait while he was using the restroom. That's funny. So Ricky's wondering why he wasn't getting any bites. He had a little white trout on his hook. Ricky's on, Ricky's on, Ricky's on.
Might be a, I ain't gonna say. Going that way. Feels like a big red. Maybe. Like drum. Got a net?
Yep, got a net. So Ricky's retying. After talking with him and everything, we're not sure what it exactly was, but we are of the consensus it was state record, whatever it was.
Exactly. That's our story, and I'm sticking to it.
He's on. Don't horse him. Play the fish.
Alright, I'm on my live bait. A little live croaker.
Can't see him yet.
Here. Might need to catch this other one. Yeah, Ken.
Okay.
Get this rod.
Okay. Okay.
I'm on both lines. Oh, come on now.
Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's a big old fish. Dang it, thought I had a good fish. There he is, big old hardhead. Still on it? Whoa.
Ooh, we're on.
I thought he was on.
Trout. Alright, Ricky got a white trout. I am deathly allergic to these things, so I'm gonna let him take care of that. There we go. Ricky's got a trout.
Look at the mud on that catfish. Really laying on the bottom.
Yeah. One hardhead, one trout. Way to go, buddy. Trout.
And he had to swallow it. Oh boy, here we go. Trout.
Got a nice little white trout.
Every white trout. That's a filleting one right there.
Ricky's on.
Fish on. That's a better word.
Another white trout.
That is the white trout I'm looking for.
All right.
That is a perfect eating size right there. Instead of a sheephead trip, this is going to turn to something else.
Here we go. Ricky's got a trout.
Another little trout. He's a little on the small side, but he'll make some good cut bait if you need it. Oh, he's up.
He's on.
Another solid trout. Do believe, yep.
Got a trout on.
Not so bad.
Getting loaded down with the white trout today.
He ain't big as he thought he was. He's a fish.
Got another one.
Somebody stop me.
Whoa.
Got a little bit of something. Strength.
Wow.
That's an ain't a stinger, ain't a hard catfish.
Ain't trying to hug the bottom, is it?
No.
Ooh, I see it. Oh, man.
What a catch.
Wow.
What a sail cat.
Another white trout. Yeah, Ricky got a little sail cat.
He's just a baby.
All right, Ricky's on. See what we got.
See what we got here. Now not the horsey.
All right.
Oh,
Hard head.
Hard head. Alright, y'all. Nothing to see here. What do we got this time?
White trout.
Another trout.
All righty.
He ain't bad. I'll be a catch and cook to follow. Alright, Louis Grande, here we go again.
Comment down below what you think it is.
Yeah, what do you think it is? like it when my pole bends. Oh, don't get over there in that junk. Don't get over there. All right, I'm gonna have to try to haul
Come on,
it.
come on.
I have to try to haul some over there.
Go around.
Where he went.
Went around that bend. Get my seat.
There you go, he's coming up.
Alright.
He has some to him. Whatever he is. And I hope it's not what I think it is. Don't get over there in the anchor rope of the motor. Get away from that motor.
Oh yeah.
Another sail cat. Big one. Bigger than the other one.
Yep. Here we go. Big sail cat.
So,
There we go, guys. I don't know if you can see this, but I am looking at just gobs and gobs and gobs of bait through here. Nothing is hitting at them. Beats all I've ever seen. Just tons and tons of bait fish. Nothing to eat them. A pinfish. Nothing else. Got bait.
big fish.
Pigfish.
Big fish.
Oh.
Normally don't catch those this far up.
Huh.
Here,
Yeah.
sound like a hog. That's why.
Yeah. Cool. Ricky's got one on, a little sizable, more sizable.
Alright, this one's got a little bit of weight to him. I don't know what he is. Oh, I can't see him. Come here. Come here.
Oh, I do. It's catfish.
Is it a cat?
Hardhead.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting tired of this. Ken, get down there and tell them to quit. Oh well, maybe I won't lose my hook this time.
Well, I got a silver trout here, so got some bait. Well, guys, we have had a change of scenery. So the bay, the waves got so high and everything, the boat was being banged around, the anchors wasn't holding anymore. It was just a nightmare. And so we decided that we're going to head back in. Ricky said he knew of a place that was deep, and when he said it was deep, I didn't realize what he meant, because we're actually deeper here in this little marsh than what it was out in the bay. In the bay, it was probably 12 foot deep, and right here it's good 20 foot easy deep. It's crazy. But we're gonna fish here, see if maybe some reds or something will come in, and try to salvage this trip, get some bigger fish, some better fish to show y'all. Although we got some good ones, just nothing I can eat. We got fish on. We got fish on. Oh man, this is a big one. All right.
Drink and drag. Live action.
I'm just
Somehow we
gonna
got
kind of
tangled
wear
up.
this one down. Wear him
Get in
down.
that motor.
Alright, he's
Drag, drag, drag.
he's wrapped around. That's Ricky's.
Well, our lines were tangled up. Got my finger off.
Just wanted to see something. Alright. We're good, we're good.
And what we got here? I got an idea.
Unfortunately, I do too.
Yeah, this way, this way.
I know. I got him. This one.
I know, you know what you're doing.
I'm just playing this fish out for no other reason for YouTube. This makes good viewing content, or so I've been told. No, actually.
It makes good content to put him in the boat.
Actually, it's because I've got a hook that I really don't trust that much. And there we go. I knew it. Got a sail cat, and a big one.
That's a bigger one than, that's the bigger than the ones I caught.
Alrighty.
That's a hoss right there.
Woo boy.
That's 6 pounds, 7 pound, I bet you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. That's definitely at least 6. My
Ken's
goodness.
gonna be eating good
Wow.
over in the neighborhood.
Let me get this mess detangled and get all the snot took care of, and we'll see if we can catch another one. We have fish on.
There he goes again. Now this is live speakers. Ken fishing.
Match the hatch. Holy crap. I know what that is.
What is that?
That is a gar, I think.
Yep, big gar.
Alright, good. That's what I want.
Big old gar. Big gar.
Alright, let's slowly finesse him. He hit the cork.
I don't know if he's going to get into that.
Get him by the tail and put him in. Grab the, or put the tail in the net. Here, let me do this. Here, hold on. I'll hold him like this. I'll just. All right.
That is a gar right yonder.
Yes.
That's a big one.
This is what I've been trying to get now for a while. Alrighty.
Show off. That is a very, very nice gar.
Wow.
Give you $1 for the skin.
You'll be seeing skin very soon.
Nice fish.
Alright.
One problem.
What?
He won't fit in the cooler.
That's alright.
We'll fold him up, put him in there.
We're gonna do a catch and cook on you, buddy. Fish on. Let's see.
You got to quit showing off at some point now. Just kidding.
Ricky thinks I kid, but I just say serious things in a funny way. Ooh, this is a good one.
That rod's about to pour out that reel.
Yeah. There we go, another one.
Another gar?
Another gar. Do you have another rag? Alright, thanks, sir.
Thank you, rag.
Alright. Wear him down.
The other one tried to tear the boat up.
Got another gar.
Well, that's a big one.
Alright, now, if I can get my hand around this. Alright. Alright, come on, buddy. Come on, you're doing good. You're doing good. There's no reason to worry. I'm gonna invite you to dinner. I'm just trying to be polite. This is the South. This is what we do. See a gar, you invite him to supper.
Alright, then it's caught another one.
Come on now. Let's be polite.
Another big gar. At least the same size.
Alright. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Lift him up to the
If you can get that net under his tail, that's where I'm having some problems right now. That reel. All right.
I got him.
Got him. All right. There we go. Another gar. Yes.
Whoop.
And he is foul hooked right in the fin. That is weird, but he is hooked right in the fin is where he's at.
No, he's not as big as the other one.
No, he's not big as the other one, but he is sure pretty.
He's a good one. That's a good fish right there, Tater.
All right. Now, if you will just unlatch your...
See, he makes a comeback at the last minute. Makes me look bad.
It's what I do. You know, you don't often get days like this. Turned out a little rough, I will admit. Got a good friend. Had good times. Beautiful sunset. Some nice fish, both of us. I've caught some nice ones, but Ricky caught a bunch. He pretty much caught just about all the fish for today. So, all in all, I'm happy. Alright, so the main thing you gotta worry about this is everything being cold. So this right here is a 10 ounce, 283 gram bag of frozen seasoning blend. I went ahead and put that in the microwave and got it cooked through. So I have auto sensor mode. It cooks when it's just done, it stops. But about 2-3 minutes, something like that. Whenever your onions start looking clear or translucent, then they're done. To this, we're going to add about a tablespoon of garlic powder. We're also going to add about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of your favorite Cajun seasoning. And some Worcestershire sauce be added. Roughly about, I'd say, a tablespoon. Now we'll just mix all this up. I'm going to add in a little cayenne pepper, just to taste. That was really like not even a half teaspoonful. And then I'll add about the same amount of ground sage. I got roughly an equal amount of potatoes to my seasoning blend. I'm going to go ahead and peel these and cut these up into dices. Okay, you can see that the potatoes are a little bit bigger pieces. This because when we start mixing, it'll break up, and that's fine, but you want some chunks of potato in there. Now we'll mix the vegetables that we got pre-cooked with these cut up boiled potatoes, and then we'll add in our gar. I'll show you that. Okay, so now I've got roughly half, or roughly, yeah, about the same amount as of this vegetable mix as I do gar, maybe just a little bit less. It's always go a little less on your filling than too much, but you want it to be about a 50-50 ratio of vegetable filling to gar meat. Alright, this gar has been sitting in salt water now for a few hours, and so I'm going to pour the water off of it, cut off the red meat, and we're going to cut this into chunks. Alright, looking at this meat, I have aggressively cut off all the red meat I can, but you see all the sinew and pink meat in there. This is very similar to gator, so you might want to treat it more like gator than anything else. So next thing I'm going to do is add some salt, and I'm using sea salt here, and that's roughly about a teaspoon or so of salt. Now I'm going to add in about a 1/4 cup of dry milk. Dry milk powder is great to work with proteins when you're doing this application. That's roughly about a 1/2 cup dry milk. This is all stirred up. Now we're going to put it into a food processor and process it up. Well, with my luck, the blender or the food processor tore up my little hand mixer that I use that has an attachment with a food processor. It broke. I ended up having to run this through my ricer because I didn't want to have to break out the grinder. But in truth, if I were going to recommend anyway and you had access to it, run it through a grinder and do it about 2-3 times at the biggest round die grind that you have, and then that will pull the sinews and things that out, and it'll almost be like a chili grind, especially if you do it at about 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so now what we're going to do is cover this up with some plastic wrap and let it sit for about an hour or two in the refrigerator so that the flavors can marry, and then we'll form them into balls and go to the next step. Alright, in this bowl I've got roughly about, I'd say, 1.5 cups, almost 2 cups of milk. Now I'm going to add in 1 farm fresh egg. This came from my in-laws. Now this is where a lot of people mess up. You always break the yolk first before you start mixing. What I'll do is come down, lift up, and you're just doing that in very fast motion. Beat this together. So you're making kind of like an egg wash. You gotta be careful when using egg in fried preparations, because the yolk has a chemical in it that will actually attract oil and can make your foods greasy. So it's also the very part of the egg that actually makes the coating stick better. So by thinning out with a little bit of milk, you can minimize the amount of greasiness you get from your fried food. So if you think that your fried foods are too greasy, it is probably because you're using too much egg in your batter preparation. Okay, in another bowl I've got roughly about 7 ounces of Panko breadcrumbs, and we will season this. First I'm going to add sea salt, so we need to use sea salt here. Next I'm going to add my McCormick's peppercorn medley. Again, this is nothing more than black peppercorns, white peppercorns, green peppercorns, pink peppercorns, coriander, and allspice. Okay, so here's our well, basically this is like a force meat. This is our filling, and I've got basically a gravy spoon. So this is bigger than a tablespoon, and I'm going to get something about the size of a jumbo sized egg. I'll roll it up into a ball, and then you can see how sticky and tacky this is. Then we'll put it in the egg wash here, and then into the breadcrumbs, the Panko breadcrumbs. It's important, plain Panko breadcrumbs. And then we'll put it on this sheet tray lined with parchment paper. So this is one done. If you wanted to, you could do a double batter, do the egg wash, flour, and then another egg wash, and then this. That would be fine as well. I just wanted a really nice kind of a little crispy coating, but not detract away from the garball, so I did it this way. If you want it, I'm sorry I couldn't show you that process from all the way through, but I don't have a camera person. But you can solve that by one, subscribing if you haven't already subscribed, like, share this video with your friends. If you happen to own a company and want to sponsor me, that would help too. Now, something else about these, a lot of people, they'll just roll this in here. They'll make some, put it in the egg wash, and then they'll roll it in the breading. That really don't work. You need to take both hands and pat this in here. And don't worry, have extra breadcrumb so that this will actually get into the roll or the ball. So I'll actually take my hands, I'll just wash my hands because it's covered in Panko, but I'm actually pressing with my hands that Panko into the garball. So make sure you do that. Doing it with just a fork is not going to do it. You need to get your hands in there and press it in. That's how this coating works. I added in about another 4 ounces Panko. Always use extra if you need it. Traditionally, they would use seasoned cornmeal, sometimes cornmeal with flour. That's traditional. So if you want to do traditional, that's the way of doing it. Now with these, one of the things I'll also say is if you have a big bowl that you can put water in, and then scoop out your force meat and roll it into a ball, it's easier with wet hands to do that. So it's good to have somebody making the balls, somebody breading the balls, and then somebody frying the balls. If you can't do that and you got to work by yourself, it may be best to go ahead and make the balls first, put them in the freezer, get them slightly frozen so they're easy to handle, and then do your breading, and then put them back in the freezer to actually do your frying later, especially if you're doing a lot of them. The other thing is, these right here are about the size palm of my hand. They're big, but if you wanted to do it for like a party or something other, you could break them in half or even quarters and do little bitty ones. And that would allow it to be kind of like an hors d'oeuvre or something like that, or a finger meal. This is actually going to be for a supper, so about 2 balls per person is normal. I've got 20 out of this, so we got 20 that will be done. Now we got some oil in the pot, and we're going to be getting this up to around 250 degrees, 225, 250. You don't want it much over that because we're going to be storing some of these in the freezer, and so we're just kind of cooking these through, doing a blanch cook first, and those that we're not going to use today or we're going to give to friends and family, that's going to go into the freezer, and that's how you store fried foods for freezing. And then we'll take the remainder, it's going to be our meal tonight, and we'll set them aside. They'll stay in the freezer as well, and then we'll finish cooking them at a higher temperature. They'll be cooked all the way through, but they'll be nice and crispy. So that's a little way of food preservation where you can do this ahead of time and have some for later on. My oil's up to temperature. I got a tray lined with some paper towels. Time to get cooking. Now you'll notice these are not really sizzling. They're really not popping. This is almost like a poaching. And this is what I want for right now. I'm going to kick up the heat just a little bit. I'm on about a 5 on my electric stove. I'm going to go to about a 7. The 7, it'll start cooking through and getting that crust forming. But really and truly what I want is that outside and middle to be cooked all the way through mostly, so that when we do our flash frying at the end, we don't have to worry about uncooked meat product in our food. We want this to be cooked all the way through. You can see as the oil temperature comes up, you're getting a light fry, but still this is not a heavy fry. I don't want a heavy fry. I want this to be nice and gentle. Slotted spoon, I'm going to come in and roll these around. I don't want any hot spots like that's already trying to brown there. I want this to be even cooked. So there we go. Some around here. Just roll these around. Now I get a lot of people say, well, how do you fry so well? How do you know how to get the perfect fry? One of the things I'm looking at is not the top of the bubbles, but inside the oil, you see all those little micro bubbles around the food. That is moisture coming out. And so that's kind of what keeps the food from being soggy. And so you want to have that going on. As soon as that starts to diminish, I'm looking very carefully as I'm turning and making sure that I'm still getting those little micro bubbles. Once it starts diminishing, I know that it's about time to start coming up with the food for the blind cook. Because that means that most of it's already lost the moisture. It's being cooked all the way through, heated all the way through. And then when we go to the higher cook, the flash fry, then that'll be around 350, 375. You're still going to get moisture coming out, but you're looking for the bubble to be totally gone, because you've got all the moisture you can get, and now you're getting the crust. You want that golden brown crust. Alright, I wanted to show you this one right here. The bubbles have actually kind of went away a little bit on it, so it's ready, and it's also trying to float. That's another thing. When it's done, it'll try to float. Now these are heavy. Trust me, these are very heavy. They're dense. A lot of meat, a lot of veggies. Now what I'm going to do is just be looking. I'm going to spread these out, and when I find one that looks like it's dying down with the bubbles, I'll just take it out of the group. Pans are not even in their heating, so you'll have areas that cook faster than others. Just be aware of that. Also, remember, drain your food really well. You need to when you're frying. I've got more in there, and also use your slotted spoon. If you see anything that's floating around that might have broke off from the balls, like pieces of potato, extra breading, scoop that out. That'll keep your oil clean, and you're not burning stuff as you're cooking, because you don't want that burnt taste in your oil. Now that we're done frying, what I'll do is I'll portion all the balls off, put them in the freezer after they've cooled. This I'm going to let cool. I'm going to drain and sieve the oil so that I've got clean oil to fry with. I'll re-clean the frying pan, or actually the saucier that I'm using for a deep fat fryer, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alright, to get started with tonight's meal, we're going to do some grits. I'm doing Gouda grits. So first thing I gotta do is get some water. I filled up half a pot of water. Now I'm going to add in some sea salt here. There we go. Now I'm going to add in some milk. Ricky, don't go nuts on me right now. I know what I'm doing. Now I've got a stick of butter cut up in here. Now we add in our grits. While the grits cooking, I got some flour, and I'm going to add some seasoning salt. Now we'll shake this up. Now we'll fish out the dill pickle chips and put them in the flour and flour them up for our fried dill pickles, and then afterwards we'll get started on our Cajun popcorn. While our grits are thickening up, it's time to put some of the oil into the pot and get it heating so that we can do our gar balls and fried pickles and all that stuff. For our cheese grits, we're going to add 4 ounces or 113 grams of cream cheese first. Now we're going to sprinkle in 8 ounces or 226 grams of Gouda cheese into the grits. We'll just stir it in, let it melt. With our grits looking good, time to turn our attention to our gar balls. With the oil heated up and shimmering, now it's time to add the gar balls from the freezer. Alright, they're crisped up and golden brown, so ready to take them out of the oil. I don't know about you, but these look yummy. Now we got our fried dill pickles going. Time to take up the dill pickles. Now the same breading that we use for the dill pickles, we're going to add this. We're going to fish out, drain, and flour some sliced jalapenos. These are pickled jalapenos. And this is what we call Northwest Florida Cajun popcorn. And now our Cajun popcorn is cooking up. You can go, there's the gar balls, cheese grits, fried dill pickles, and that Cajun popcorn. Alright, time to do a little taste. Got a piece of the gar ball here. That's good. I really can't say I'd change much on that. The crispiness of the Panko sets it off. By using the milk, makes a good bind, but also tenderizes. Gar is very chewy. If you don't, kind of grind it up or mash it up, or some of the Cajuns, they'll actually take one of those bone brushes, the bone cleaners that the butchers use, and they'll use that to get the meat from the sinew. I really think that there should be gar farms, like, we have other fish farms for trout and catfish, and over in Louisiana they can do bowfin, and they make bowfin caviar with it. But we need to have some gar ponds that are, agriculture for growing gar. It is very similar to alligator, and I believe that if we could get gar commercially grown, that would probably revolutionize and save the alligator gar, which, like in Florida, you can't even catch them and keep them because they're so endangered now. And I think we'll see more and more states go on this, minimizing the catch or not allowing catches of alligator gar. And I think that's something that we need to protect, is that species. I think the best way to protect it is put it on the plate. This is something that's very, very good. Just be very mindful. Don't ever eat the roe or let the roe touch the meat, because the roe is poisonous. But, you got all kind of poisonous stuff you're eating all the time anyway. Think of red beans. Red beans, until they're cooked, are poisonous. So you got to keep that in mind. Now let's try some of the other food. Got a fried dill pickle. Hard to go wrong with that. I love dill pickles. Fried, perfect. One thing, whenever you're frying something that is pickled or brined, go a little light on the salt. Now the Cajun popcorn. So good. It's really crunchy. It's not hot. You would think it'd be hot, but it's not. But it's got some heat. So don't get me wrong, it's got some heat to it, but it's not hot. Just a really good thing to have. Again, make sure your sodium levels are not too much. Or I tried the grits. They're on point. I'm trying my best to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. So I need your help. So if you haven't already and you like this video and you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends. Comment down below if you've had gar. What's your favorite way to eat it? If I get another gar, I got something I think will blow your mind. But for right now, I'm going to just enjoy the rest of my night. I want to thank Ricky for coming out and fishing with me. I had a blast with him. I always have a good time fishing with Ricky. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.